Hey, 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 secondhand soul fans. Hey, 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 secondhand soul fans. It's me, your friendly neighborhood soul man, Lyle Dynamite Miller. And I'm here with
the very sparkly Kathy Fern.
And the sax man, Dave Drower.
That's right. We're all here. How's everybody doing today? And here we are, baby, at episode number 25. Still haven't had a call from MTV or Comedy Central yet. Still waiting for that, but
hey, you know, business is it's going slow, you know, with COVID, so they're gonna get to our show very soon.
We're gaining momentum, guys. Yeah,
right.
All of a sudden, they'll all call on the same day.
Yeah, right. The minute it picks back up, they'll be calling us. We'll be on network TV, and if not, we'll be back in front of you guys playing a show. How about that? So here we are, episode 25. How about a toast?
Toast.
How about a toast?
Cheers. Clink.
Episode 25 here. There's a dedication to Oktoberfest, one of the hip joints that we play right there.
We'll be back there too.
Yeah, this is the first year we haven't played out there. Yeah, that's crazy.
I was out last night, and then a lot of people said how much they missed us, and I assured them we missed them just as much.
Yeah.
And we're only 200 days until the first day of summer.
That's right. And we'll be right back there jamming, getting out of this hibernation and going right back up there and partying. How about
today's?
Like
it never left.
Yep, that's right. Yeah. How about today's show? So today we got, as usual, our great over underrated segment. We got a little venue news today. Actually, some real venue news. How about that? Then we're going to look at some new music. Here's a new segment that we'll look at some new current music. We got a couple of other segments, Cash In on the Culture. Let's see what that's about. And then we'll talk about some older icons. We're going to talk about net neutrality and its effect on entertainment. And of course, if it's Wednesday, Dave goes off. So why don't we get started?
Let's get started. Yeah, so just wanted to highlight, the weather's going to be getting colder. It seems like we get one more day, but it's not going to be long, and the weather's going to be cold enough where you really can't dine outside anymore. So just remember those restaurants and bars that have supported us, as a band, but also whenever you were, looking for a gift certificate for your kids' Little League charity event, that's who you went to. So make sure you remember those venues now when they really need you, order out once a week and have it delivered, and, try to keep these restaurants in business, because we don't want them to go away. They'll be gone, and we'll not be back in 2021 when everything opens again. And I found out about this really cute restaurant. It's called Easy Street Pub. It's got these cute little shacks in the back. They're Santa shacks. I'm calling them that. I'm not sure what they're calling them. But you can have a little private dinner, and they're decorated and heated. They're just so cute, and I can't wait to go there. I heard the food was delicious. So a shout out to Easy Street. Yeah, check it out. They got like little decorations in there and Santas, and so cute. So Easy Street is on, I put the thing away. Hang on. Do we have the address, you guys? Here it is. 3750 North Central. So check them out. They have a Facebook page, and let's support these venues that are thinking outside the box and coming up with interesting ways to keep their clients safe, but also fed and entertained.
Hey, and whenever you see a shit, I thought this was like a Lover's Lane thing the first time I saw this video, because but then they had the dinner table.
You can get it done before the waitress comes back. Knock yourself out.
Yeah. Just get one of those large paper clips and put it on the curtain.
Right. You got to put the sock on the door.
Yeah.
That's how it works. So
that's awesome.
All right, let's get into it, my friends.
All right. Well. Here we are again. Over Underrated. That
Over
segment on the
Underrated.
Secondhand Soul Band show, where we take an artist, we look at their career, we examine it, and we figure out if they're overrated, underrated, or getting just the right amount of praise. Now, who do we have today?
Today we have a good artist. I really think so.
All right.
We got Madonna.
Ooh, Madonna.
Right.
Madonna.
Right. Madonna. Like the name rings. Hey, she has her own brand. She has her own.
She kind of started the one name when you think about it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
You wouldn't have
true.
Beyonce without Madonna.
Right. If you think back, who before Madonna went by one name?
Yep.
People were trying to figure out what to call her. They were like Madonna Jenkins Simpson. What's the last name? They didn't know.
Ciccone, Madonna Louise Ciccone, and that is her first name.
See that? Never heard Louise Ciccone before. That just shows you right there. But she could just go by Madonna. Okay.
Right.
Actually,
like from Bridgeport, she sounds like she would have been a mobster, but then it.
Yeah.
Just the Madonna part has nothing to do with it, right? But the rest of it's like, yes. I could see you being old school family type stuff.
Yeah.
So she's called the Queen of Pop. Basically, I had not heard that. You guys said you'd heard that. I had not heard that, but I suppose that moniker fits. And she's currently 62 years old. So keep that in mind as we look at her right now.
62.
First album came out in 1983. Madonna, the great album. I listened to that album 5 million times, as loud as it would go in the car. Lucky Star, Borderline, Burn It Up, Holiday, all the great hits.
Holiday,
that was such a great album, man. I still love it every time it comes on.
Yeah, I grew up on it. I mean, I think I was I guess I was 8 years old when that came out.
Okay.
And Borderline, I remember playing just the single like over and over and over again. I knew every part of it. And yeah, Madonna's been, and that genre was like kind of underground, kind of disco back then when she first came out, but it got so popular.
Yeah, she went to the clubs and got it on, got the DJs to play her tapes. I heard she was a real hustler and went from place to place to place, just kept pushing her cassette tape, and anybody that would play it, they would play it. And that's how she got herself up the ladder a little bit,
Yeah. Yep.
So she's definitely a hustler and a marketing genius, really, when it comes to her own career.
Yeah, Madonna has, there are some artists who start a new genre, start a new, style. What's the word I'm looking for?
Trailblazer.
More like a phase or fad. Fad is the word I'm looking for.
Okay.
They start fads, then some artists will come in and they'll latch on to it, or maybe perfect it, or maybe they'll be hacky and just do what everybody else is doing. Madonna is like a combination of creating a new style and then embellishing upon it.
Making it her own. Yeah.
What's that style? Just for curiosity, give me the genre, give me the style that she created.
Now let's not talk. So if we're not,
these are words you use. So
yeah. So I'm not talking.
That's what
I'm not talking about music. I'm talking about. See, to me, the genius of
artistry.
This is just artistry. Yeah. To me, the genius.
Define. That's what I want. That's what I want.
So to me, the genius of Madonna is actually simplicity. The only thing she's doing is exploiting and talking about things that are normally taboo, and they're only taboo because we're a bunch of tight asses.
Americans.
That's it.
Americans.
Yes.
Right,
that's right.
Right. That's not necessarily the same. But continue. I'm still looking for what genre, what's right.
Yeah. So
it should be a one-word answer, like really.
Well, culture, really. That's what we were planning the show. Is more culture than genre. She's just pushed the envelope with so many cultures. Sexuality, she did Like a Virgin. Religion, Like a Prayer. So she was singing and dancing with Jesus. I mean, everybody was like, "This is blasphemy." Erotica, she put out that sex book. A lot of S&M photos in there. People were like aghast. Oh my God, what are we looking at? Gay culture. She, did the Vogue thing and made that very popular. She's just really good at finding these things that she can take and make her own, basically, and push out there.
Sexuality.
Sexuality as a palatable genre, yes.
As a palatable genre.
Palatable genre, yes. Because before that, it was just in dirty magazines, the things that Madonna was doing in the 90s. You would only see in a dirty magazine.
Rolling around on a stage in a wedding dress saying she's a virgin. That was so groundbreaking.
It was
well,
very
I agree.
know what
I
to do
agree.
about
It's
that.
groundbreaking, but I'm still looking for like where she fits in, and you guys haven't been able to give me necessarily an answer. And as an artist or as a trailblazer, I would agree with you. Like, yes, she's done. She did all the things that you say, and I'm not trying to diminish that, but again, you want to say she created her own category. But pushing the envelope is not something Madonna's the first artist to do.
Oh, no.
This is the whole point of artistry. So the fact that she was able to push it in these very interesting areas of public life, or as you would say, culture or acceptable culture, and again, America, we're dudes. Like, the rest of the world does not view sex the same way Americans do. Like if little kids saw a pair of titties in Europe, it would be completely different than the same mom here in America, right?
I'm pretty sure I mentioned that on another show. I went to England when I was in 4th grade, and while my mom was hanging out with her mom, they were putting me in front of the TV to babysit me, basically, and there were boobs everywhere, and I was like, what the hell am I looking at in 4th grade? So yeah.
Exactly.
Look at what we're doing, right? Titties, boobies. Their breasts. See, this is the part of the.
I'm not allowed to say
taboo
titties
right here. No,
you're
no.
the one that's. Oh my God, he said.
No. I'm saying that we have these substitutes because of the lifestyle that goes on here.
Yeah.
I think they probably say breasts in Europe. I'm not sure.
Yeah, probably.
But we have the pet names. Schlong and Johnson, all that.
Would it be a big deal if you said breasts, said titties in Europe?
No, it's just
here it has a different connotation. It's like no, this is exactly
no. We always come up with a word that's a little more palatable. Like these are the girls. You call them the girls.
Exactly. That's my point.
And you call yours the boys.
Exactly. And Madonna was not afraid to say vagina.
The two things are the boys. Right.
Again,
that's the difference to me.
Well, and I don't know. I just have no problem saying whatever I think. So,
well, Dave, you're a different kind of a cat, that's for sure.
Hey, with the capital K.
In a good way. Let's talk about her music. So artistry, definitely she knows how to push the envelope. She knows how to market herself. I mean, it's one thing to know how to do that, but then not to be able to deliver. And she's always been able to deliver pretty much as time has gone by. Her impact on popular culture has diminished, but she's still, like this video we're going to watch next, she's still able to kind of rein it in and, be Madonna. So
yeah, I got it.
All right.
Musically, let's talk about her musically.
Well, no, Kathy, we have to sidestep because we skipped this segment, and it's time for Lyle and I to actually give our assessment on Madonna's underrated.
Well,
so here we go. Go ahead. Well, I would love you to start because this is a good one. I think we're gonna agree this time. I really do.
Okay. Madonna's career is about, I guess, 40 or so years. Always been pretty much successful and gotten praise for it. So I think she's right about where she needs to be in terms of accolades.
Yeah, and honestly, I agree. I think that, and as we've talked about multiple times in this show, there's those late 80s and 90s music, which I don't have high accolades for, but the more I listen to some of the stuff that comes out now, I appreciate it a little bit more, and we're gonna get to that in a second. But no, Madonna again, she's an artist, and I respect her because she used her artistry to push her own philosophy. Really is what it is, and artists think that things could be a big deal to some people, but sometimes artists are like, well, why do you think that's a big deal? And we talked about sexuality earlier, and artists, we talked about artists using their platform for good, and actually saying what they think and how they feel about the world. Because if you're going to be an artist, if you're going to have stature, meaning people are going to listen to you. This is why people pay Instagram people, YouTube stars or whatever. And these people, sometimes you watch them and they're combing their hair and they're telling you why they love to comb their hair. But again, why do these people get paid? And it's because they have influence on culture, you know, and artists create culture, and sometimes I'm not going to say artists. It's not artists. It's other people that create that could affect it. And what's better? Like, I think artists make choices with what they believe in, and they use for good or for furthering an idea. And this is why I respect Madonna. So I agree with you, Lyle. I think she gets the accolade she deserves, and she's definitely not underrated, and she's not overrated. But as we continue and we talk about something that has come recently from Madonna, do not misinterpret my dissing it completely as horse, feces, because Americans can't. We'll get into this swearing later, but
I gotta say, yes, as she is getting the right amount of accolades, but not a very good singer. I got to put that out there. I think that if she was, I'd say she was underrated.
You know, before we play the next clip, I would say, you know, her voice has changed over the years too. When she first started out, she kind of that little girl, high, easy voice, and then she became the British version of herself. And, you know, so she's explored a lot of different ways of presenting herself too. And now in this next clip, we're going to see it's kind of back to this, I don't know, it's kind of in your face, like sassy kind of, I don't know. The voice has definitely changed.
Lyle, this is the first vocalist that you don't like that you've actually not said was underrated.
Really? Is it the first one? I don't know.
Yeah,
I have to look back.
I'm pretty sure. And you pretty much only rate things on vocal.
No, not always. Not always.
But it's always in your mind necessarily. But Madonna's a perfect example because she's not necessarily known as a singer because it's just known as Madonna. So
the whole Madonna experience
in fashion.
She's a recording artist. All right, now I got to change my vote.
To what?
I mean, if you saying that she's not a singer, she's not known as a singer. That's literally like Madonna.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying she's the first one that you're not rating completely on their singing. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. I don't really remember, but I'll take that for now.
All right. We'll have to do an instrumentalist.
Ooh, good idea.
Yeah.
I can do that one.
Somebody that's not a jazz player.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Kenny G.
That's not allowed on this show at all, Kath. I don't know why you would say that.
Okay, I'm sorry. Don't throw me off the show.
That's not acceptable at all. I'm gonna put my foot down. Exactly. We will stop the show right now.
I got the red X.
If you say that name again, this is
great. No, I can't even play like that.
Oh my God! I can't even play like that. You are pushing the envelope very hard right now, and I have a little voice and a big voice, and you better stop. All right. So here's this new video.
Maybe we should move on.
This is. Oh, I don't need a cue. Here we go.
All right. This is Madonna's new video. It's called Bitch, I'm Madonna.
That's, yes. Great. And
this video,
go ahead.
I just want to say right off, this was so fucking good. Freaking good. I didn't even know that was Madonna. This woman is 62 years old. And I want you all to notice also that this is mostly one take.
Right.
Doing. They choreographed that little cart there.
This is the actor part of Lyle talking right now.
That right there is the first cut.
This is not the singing part of Lyle.
But there's
the musical part of
right
Lyle. This is just about the video aspect. But listen to the music. It's very, very, very bad. Like, and here's the thing.
Well, it's a lame rhyme, first of all. Na, Madonna.
And the sounds, like, why do you have to, and the auto-tune right on her voice.
That's Rita Ora.
Okay.
Chris Rock.
Yes, exactly. And this is because she's Madonna. This is why she gets this. But as musical song, even the way that it ends, it's the most horrible sounding electric instrument I've ever heard. And when I teach any kind of instruments to any of my kids, the first thing is I say, we want it to sound good. If it sounds horrible, I know you guys know it sounds horrible. Nobody wants to hear it squeaking clarinet nonstop. So for you, electric instruments are totally cool. I'm hip with that. but it has to sound good. And,
Yeah.
and this, they found the worst sounding instruments, the worst sounding.
It's all synthesizer, right? Basically, all these noises.
Yes, everything is
there's
synthesized.
nothing.
This is all beat. This is like she's trying to come up with a rap song, and the greatest part about this song, honestly, is the rapper, and it's not Madonna.
There's Miley Cyrus.
And these are camos. They're not even in the
Cameos.
song.
Yeah.
Yeah, all those people, somebody, some of them you don't recognize.
So
You
one
know
of the
these.
one of the websites talked about this video that it was bitch on Skype.
Right, and I could talk to Kanye West because he's completely underrated, right, Lau?
I said he was just right, I think. I don't know
I
if we
mean,
did
you know,
him.
the whole video
Well,
is
you
like,
don't know if we did Kanye West? Are you
We,
shitting
that was
me?
we did him? Oh yeah,
yeah, we did.
That
Hold
was
on, back
last
to the
week.
video.
Let
The
me
whole
rewind
video
to
is
last
so-
week.
The whole video is kind of really haphazard. There's not a lot of connection. It just sort of, it feels thrown together and kind of, let's just make a lot of chaos and a lot of colors, you know, and a stupid
Well,
beat.
I'm saying a full video with like 5 passes, continuous. That's impressive.
Okay.
I'm saying
Production
choreography.
wise, yeah.
The choreography is good. Watch what happens here. I have no idea what's going to happen because I've only seen it once. But you see this, how that person was standing there the whole time and then he
Yeah.
goes up.
Yeah.
All of that is choreographed. From them being on the dance floor to going up their staircase to wherever she's going to end up is choreography.
Uh-huh.
Right.
That
then
part
this happens.
is impressive. That
Right.
part isn't thrown together. It's the hell out of that.
Kanye
Yeah.
West
And then
popping
she's
up
back
on
to that
screen.
room. They lift her up. She's outside now. This is all the same take. Now
Yeah.
we cut away. But that still looks like the same thing.
Yeah.
But again, this has nothing to do with the musical aspect of the song.
No,
right?
well, again, Madonna's
better
just
to be on
presenting a whole
mute.
product here.
Yeah, if you heard this on the radio, you wouldn't even know what it was.
Right,
We wouldn't know. Young people, this is music.
right.
Okay. All right. I guess.
There you go.
Yeah,
So that's new music, you know, that's what's
not-
being released
that's
nowadays.
That's not.
And the audacity.
Okay.
I like the audacity of Madonna saying, I'm Madonna. I'm Madonna. Me, I'm the one. And she doesn't even have to explain that. You hear that and you know what it means. So
Well, and that fact that she got all those people, very big names, Beyonce,
yeah.
Kanye, to do their little cameos, even though they, you know, sent them in as a clip.
Right.
It's
Right,
still,
on the
you know,
else
crappiest
can?
song
something
of the
to
year.
be
Like it.
for that.
I mean, Madonna,
it's complete horseshit.
Beyonce actually did the Vogue,
Yeah.
It's complete
she
horseshit.
did
It's complete
the iconic
horseshit.
dance.
And we figured Chris Rock was just in it because he was actually in town or something. Said, hey, I'll come over.
Mhm.
Right, for Madonna, not
For
for
Madonna,
the
yeah.
artist
Right.
or the musicality of that song.
No, just because it's Madonna. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just to make money.
Well, you know,
Well-
that speaks to the title. She's
Yeah.
Madonna, that she
Yep.
can just say, hey, come, and they will come. That's,
Yep.
you know, that's her power. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you know, the song kind of stuck in my head, even though I'm not all that much of a fan of it, but it kind of got stuck in my head.
No, impossible.
Yep. I thought it was all right. I love the concept of it. The music was okay. The music is just like not my style, but I don't think it was that bad.
Yeah. So, you know, let's talk about the next segment is cash in on culture. Madonna has been a person that has really taken a lot of different cultures and promoted them and become, you know, look at the bullet bra right there where here's your voguing. And she's taken a lot of these cultures and promoted them and almost, you know, used them for her own benefit, but then also popularized the culture because it was shown to a lot more people that weren't familiar with it and made it a little more mainstream. Here's her erotica book, sex book that she did. I mean, that was so obscene to so many people. And then, you know, she still keeps eye patch and the grills in her teeth and, you know, but and that's what she looks like now at 62. So, you know, more props to her. But, you know, artists take a lot of popular culture and then don't do those ones yet, Dave. You know, they take them and they make them their own. And, you know, in some cases they do it poorly and maybe it just feels like it's being, you know, taken advantage of. But in other cases they add to it and promote it and make it more mainstream. There's a lot of things that Madonna did back then that nowadays we look back and say, big deal. So she rolled around on the stage in a wedding dress and said she was a virgin. And it was like, so what? But, you know, as we were talking earlier, the promiscuity of artistry changes year to year and gets more by anyone's standards, more obscene or more, they show more. But once you show more, you uninhibited. Once you show more, you can't show less.
Yeah.
So at some point we said it's going to be too much, and it just always find a way to keep going more and more and showing more and more. And then we feel like the old people on the porch saying, put some pants on.
Yeah. I mean, it's always been like this. I remember back in the early 90s in R&B, every song seemed like it was about cunnilingus. Who knows why? I don't know what this obsession suddenly, Silk, there was this group Silk. They had a song called Freak Me. And they said, let me lick you up and down till you say stop. There was another group, H-Town, that was produced by Luther Campbell of Two Live Crew. They were a singing group though. And they had a song called Lick You Up. Literally it was Lick You Up. And that was the chorus. And I think those were the only words in the chorus. And it was, you want to talk about obscene? This is a sex act. And that is the whole premise of the song. So I was thinking back in '93, what's going to be next? How far up the birth canal are we trying to go here?
An X-ray.
What are we doing?
That's next.
That might be the case, but here's the thing: is I think that real artists can pick any subject and actually come up with some crazy stuff. So if you want to say how far we're gonna go, whatever, like as a rapper, like here's a good example. Here's a good genre for us to talk about, right?
Yeah.
Rap, because all they talk about is basically supposed to be that.
Yeah.
But the real amazing ones is how many different ways can you talk about that? How slightly can you go into that? How many different? So yes, I agree that the topic might be like, oh my gosh, really? But if it's just the same old repeated a million times, or the same old, I want to do this, bitch, I want to do,
Yeah.
How is that being an artist that is using?
Well,
the
it's
brain?
gratuitous or it's artistic. That's the thing.
Well, it's because it's profitable. Nobody makes something that doesn't sell.
True. Sex definitely sells. We talked about that last week.
Well, yes,
I mean,
but it doesn't make it art, and
True.
That's what I'm talking
True.
about.
That is a key, when an artist can take something like that and make it still interesting and not just gratuitous. Then I can respect that and still be popular. Then I can respect that.
Those are the ones. Those are the icons. Those are the geniuses. Yeah. Like we talked about,
exactly.
Like R. Kelly. R. Kelly. I actually, my voice teacher, Miss McGlynn, she's a pastor. We had the same voice teacher. R. Kelly also took lessons with her. And when he was in high school, and I heard tapes of him singing before. This guy can sing arias, classical music. He can sing in Italian. And he put out songs like "You Remind Me of My Jeep," "I Want to Rock You," like the most juvenile, stupid sounding lyrics that you've ever heard. And he's also very, very, very successful as an artist. Very, very successful, very popular songs, because he took the music and he basically made nursery rhymes to a beat.
You said that earlier, like making it more simple. Yeah.
He calls himself the Pied Piper of R&B. Now that might have something to do with him bringing kids with his music. It could be that, but the other part of that is the music that he played is infectious. It sticks in your head, and it's simple. It's the simplicity. That's why I'm not impressed with. Well, I'm not going to say it now, but
he's going to say jazz.
Yes. Because
let's fucking go at it. All right.
Because
fine. Let's talk about jazz. Go
it's not on the show today.
All right.
We'll go back. We'll go back.
The only point I'm trying to make is, in order for something to be relevant, it has to be accepted by a bunch of people. No matter how good it is, if nobody listens, who cares?
Right.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And that's a very sad statement for an artist to make, because
it's just honesty. You got to know the
honesty
world you're in.
in what? In reviewing art, you have to look at how popular something is. So if something doesn't have 1 million hits on the internet, then it's not even worth your time. And that's
not my time.
He didn't say that.
It's not my time. But what is it then?
But you can't be successful if you're not popular.
That's not what we're talking about. Again,
how many artists?
Different things.
If we're talking about, like, let's say painters, there's a lot of painters who didn't make it until after they died.
Yeah.
That's because all of a sudden they become in demand. And so
no. Because people didn't actually look at their work and understand what their message was, or their message wasn't accepted when they were alive. That's proving my point more than anything, because those are the people that weren't successful, yet they were putting out the art. So the art had the message. So again, if we're talking about artists that are completely successful because they could come out, and I'm not putting R. Kelly down, but here's the perfect example, is that's the difference between business and art. And if we're going to talk from the art side, then that's what we have to talk from. And the business side is completely different.
Nuanced.
That could be a whole nother segment. I mean, to be a successful artist, you do have to have a business mind.
Yep.
We can be the best band ever, but if I never promote us or never get us any gigs, who gives a shit?
And if we play music that nobody wants to hear,
right?
No matter how good we play it,
and there are people that's what they do, and they're just perfectly happy with that. But I mean, to be realistic in this world, if you really want to make it as a band or a painter or a visual artist or whatever, you have to connect. You have to connect with people in some way. So there's always this delicate line that you're balancing, not selling yourself out, but at the same time being popular enough that you can make it and make it a career. If that's what your intention is, you have to be able to appeal to some of the masses, maybe not all of the masses, but the people that have been able to really stay true to who they are and become that popular, that's an amazing feat. And it's not a lot of people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're talking about people like Madonna, and Prince is another one. There's very few that do something that's super out there, but everybody in the world knows
and doesn't turn everyone off. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. They got to have some kind of marketing sense where they realize how far they can push something and not turn people off. Just get them interested enough to pay more attention, and then you can deliver more. But if you don't manage that process,
right,
you can just do it by yourself in your garage, and no one's going to care.
Exactly. Stick to your weird, but you got to make your weird appealing. I think that's what it is.
That's good.
You can't come in and say, I'm going to be just like Michael Jackson. We already got a Michael Jackson.
Already done.
You got to come out and be just like Lyle Dynamite and be you until enough people get that.
Yeah.
And you got to make them get it. That's it. If you change up stuff, you're not going to recognize yourself, and then you're going to be pretending every time you step out there.
And people know when they see fake. They totally can tell when something's not sincere. They know. They may not even know why they know, but they know.
Yep. Vanilla Ice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yes.
He was famous for a minute.
He was, but we could see right through it.
And then he couldn't. It was not sustainable, right?
Nope,
he did it for a little while, and it was not sustainable.
There you go. And then
and
the
now
real
he's
him
building
came out.
houses.
There you go. That's my point. That's my point right there.
Yeah. Well, the next segment is old icons. We're talking about people who they started out and they've been able to maintain their popularity over many, many years. There's not a lot of artists that can do that. Madonna is definitely one of them. I mean, she's 62 years old, and you see her now and then. She's been able to stay somewhat relevant even now today. She can command someone like Beyonce or Kanye to be in her video. David Lee Roth is another one. He started out back in the early 80s, and he became a podcaster and an internet a radio DJ. And maybe he's not as relevant today, but for the past maybe about 10 years ago, I think he was still somewhat relevant. And he had a rebirth with Van Halen. He came back out again when they replaced the bass player with Eddie Van Halen's son. That's something, by the way, check out Eddie Van Halen's son's newest video called Distance. You will cry your eyes out if you're a Van Halen fan. It's so good. And by the way, he played every instrument. So just because he's Eddie's son doesn't mean he would be a good musician, but he is. He happens to be, and he played every single instrument on his album and sang all the songs. So check that out. Then we got someone like Bon Jovi. He was my love of my life. When I was 18, I met him, and I loved him forever and ever. And he's been able to mature in a good way and still be relevant. He can still put out records and sell out concerts. He's got a big charitable arm to his organization. He's basically created a business, a whole organization around it. Was even able to stay in business even after Richie Sambora left the band, his right-hand man, basically, and still was able to spin it in a way that kept the business up and running. And then someone like Elton John, he's been through a lot of changes over the years, and now he is much more who he's been all along, doesn't have to pretend who he is not. And he still is, you could still sell probably some very high price concert tickets to go see him. So again, this is all a talent to be able to stay relevant and change year after year. some people put out a couple albums in the beginning of their career, and then they try to ride on those couple albums. And again, Vanilla Ice, MC Hammer. So,
Yep.
those are the people that, they couldn't sustain it. So it's definitely a talent to be able to sustain it over the years.
Yeah, man, it's just, I got to say, it's just depressing to see all those, those blue hairs that you grew up with. I always see people like that,
Because if they're old.
Exactly. And you're like, God, man, that guy's old.
That was 37 years ago.
37. And then you look in the mirror like, oh, well, yeah, me too. Depressing. But at least they're alive.
Yeah, and they're still out there. So hey, there's hope for us yet.
Yeah, that's right.
I always said I'm going to be the old lady in the nursing home putting the band together.
Yep, that's right. Still going
Any
at
of
it.
you old guys play bass?
Still at it. I'll do one split a night. It'll be the very last thing in the show, and I just stay there.
And then recuperate for a month. I've fallen and I can't get up.
Yep. That's that could be a song.
All right. So old people like to talk about bills going up, so this is a perfect segue into
this is good.
Right?
Yeah, so Netflix and Hulu just announced again that they are raising their prices. And some people are accusing them of taking advantage of their captive audience during the pandemic, which I could maybe agree with. But again, this is America. And if you provide a service, you can charge whatever you want for it. People are going to pay it or they're not. So I have a feeling people are going to pay this. They're not going to, they might moan about it, but they're going to pay it, But, this came up because we started talking about net neutrality. And this was something that I remember the idea, but I kind of didn't remember what it was. So just for all of you there, it's the principle that internet service providers treat all data on the internet the same, and they cannot discriminate. It's been an issue of contention for a very long time, since the 90s, since the internet really got big. Internet ISP, internet service providers, may not intentionally block, slow down, or charge money for specific online content. And without net neutrality, ISPs may prioritize certain types of traffic, meter others, which means slow them down, or potentially even block some traffic from specific services.
Right.
While charging customers.
They could go mobster.
Yeah, while charging customers different for various tiers. And that's exactly what happens when you sign up for Comcast. How fast do you want your internet to be? Okay, this is this price. If you want it to be super fast, it's going to be this price.
Right.
But in 2005, the FCC adopted network neutrality principles to preserve and promote the vibrant and open character of the internet as the telecommunications marketplace enters the broadband age.
Bush administration.
Between 2005 and 2012, 5 attempts to pass bills in Congress containing net neutrality provisions failed. Opponents claim that these bills would have benefited industry lobbyists instead of consumers. And in response to legal challenges from ISPs challenging the FCC's ability to set net neutrality principles, the FCC in 2015 issued the Open Internet Order, which reclassified ISPs as Title II services and gave them clear authority to enforce net neutrality. The Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia upheld the FCC's new rules in a legal challenge raised by advocate groups representing ISPs. Now, here's where it gets good. Upon becoming FCC chairman in 2017, as part of the Trump administration, Ajit Pai proposed to repeal neutrality policies and returning the previous classifications of ISPs as Title I services. The draft of the proposed repeal, published in May 2017, led to over 20 million comments to the FCC. Despite a majority of these comments favoring retaining the 2015 Open Internet Order, the FCC still voted in favor of repealing the order. Which
because
went
they don't
into
give a
effect,
shit, right? They didn't give a shit because
in
it was
June
Trump.
2018. They didn't care. 20 million
They
people,
had
they
an
didn't
agenda,
care.
and they wanted to make the agenda happen. It's very simple. It's very
I
simple.
sent about 5 comments.
And we live in a republic, and some people don't understand what a republic is. So let me define for you what a republic is, my friends. A republic is we vote for people, and then they make decisions for us. A democracy is where we vote on everything, and that's not what we live in. We vote for people. And if I live in Kentucky, it might be Mitch McConnell. If I live in Chicago, it might be somebody else. But we vote for them, and then they make decisions. So here we had an FCC which had an agenda, and they wanted they wanted to be able to charge more. So Netflix easily, here's the deal. If you're a mob, right? And you say, hey, if I come over and break your window, hey, you need somebody to protect that window, right?
Right.
It's the
Right.
same thing, and net neutrality was no different. So obviously, right, if you're letting Comcast and Warner Brothers Internet and AT&T charge Netflix more, or else their stuff will slow down to where their business won't function, then of course they're gonna have to pay the bounty, right? It's just you're
Pretty much.
exactly. You're getting held hostage. Your business is getting held hostage.
Yeah.
And what protections do you have, right, Lyle?
Yeah, I mean, look at you always follow the money. Always
Yep.
follow the money. Let's look at this in practical terms. YouTube is a medium that allows you and me, this show, to happen. In the past 10 years, let's just look at the last 10 years. There's been so much content on the internet that pulls in regular audiences that television is being hurt by.
Yes.
People aren't watching TV. They're watching their favorite vlogger now on YouTube.
Especially the younger generation. That's all they watch.
That's it. So what do? You make that expensive, you make it buffer, you make it crash, and you make television perfect. That is net neutrality. These schmucks like us who have no television network crash the hell out of them, make their videos slow, unless they pay as much as CBS, whose video will be streaming smooth. That's why you're paying for commercials on Hulu, because you're not paying for that. You're paying for Hulu to pay the cable provider to not crash their server.
So it's not even Hulu or Netflix that are actually making more money.
The lobbyists go to
not necessarily, right?
Not necessarily, yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
The lobbyists are really making money.
Exactly. and then again, we're going to talk about this in the future, but who is this actually hurting? This is just like this is just like taxes a lot of the times. It's like the meat and bones of America is the ones that's paying for this, no matter which way it is, right? And Comcast, it's like,
the little guy.
I'm paying for really high speed internet, but somehow you're gonna slow down Netflix for me? No,
exactly.
I doubt you will. But if I'm not paying for that, I guarantee you will. And
there you go.
Right now, I'm in remote learning still with my kids, and I did just this with a few classes where I went and tested my internet speed on the class, and then the kids did it, and then they sent me back things. And the saddest part was literally my upload speed. And if you're not a tech genius, I completely understand. But upload speed usually is like small percentages of what your download is. Like, you're lucky if you have 10% of your download speed in your upload speed.
Right.
So it might take me 3 hours to upload a show that's 40 minutes, right? This is an easy way for everyone to understand. 3 hours at least to upload a show that's 40 minutes. But I could download a show in less than 5. That's the same amount of time.
Okay.
Right. What's the benefit of the download benefits the company.
Exactly.
If you're trying to get your stuff out there,
but
it's a hassle.
Dude, my kids, their download speed is slower than my upload speed.
Yep.
And
they can't make any money off of that.
Right. Like, either the district's paying or they're giving free hotspots, or it doesn't even matter. But here's the deal, right? The kids in America have a slower download speed than my upload speed is, that I pay a bunch of money for, and somehow it's unbelievable.
Yeah, man.
Hey.
Man, it almost sounds like
because it's free. Is that what you're saying? Because theirs is free?
Well, it's free and it's wireless. Like,
Comcast
will actually install a cable modem for $9.99 in customers of low income.
Okay, that's that free internet
in their house.
Thing.
But again, they're not guaranteeing speeds like they will with customers that are paying. So yes, they're going to give you access, but are they going to guarantee you certain download speeds or upload speeds? No, not even close.
And it's bottlenecked.
Exactly.
It's not that they don't have the speed. It's just squeeze it right here because they aren't giving up as much money.
Right.
And we'll leave it open for people who are throwing tons of money at us.
And this may not be a quick answer, but does it cost them any more money to give everybody the same speed?
No. That's what it was in 2015.
Well, yeah, they've already built infrastructure, and yes, it's going to cost them money to increase the infrastructure, like to have a fiber optic line installed. Right, that costs money. But again,
it's a universal infrastructure.
We could talk about corporate America.
I don't know.
Hey, why not?
This is about. It looks like
It's
it's about that time anyway. It's Wednesday, isn't it?
All right, my friends. Here it is. It's time. It's time for Dave Goes Off. And I know you guys have been missing me. And hey, I got a good one for you. So today I do want to talk about corporate America, but I don't want this to be very simple. I want this to be more about Americans and humans and what people actually live with, right? So let's talk about veterans first, because I respect veterans. My grandfather, he was on a bomber airplane in World War II, and he's still kicking. And man, Grandpa Vic, I love you. So, veterans. How many veterans come back? And we hear about veterans that they have PTSD, right? And they're searching for something to drive them. They keep I hear this all the time. It's like, I need a purpose, because when they were in the military, yes, did they have a job where they think about making money? Not necessarily. No, they were serving their country, right? My purpose was to serve my country, and this job that I had served my country. So now let's come back to America, right? A veteran that just served his country. He had a purpose. He comes back to America, and he goes to find a job. So how many jobs here in America are you serving anything at all? And this is my problem with corporate America right now, because you are replaceable. There's so many jobs here in America that are replaceable. You do not need to exist. If you get hurt and you disappear for 2-3 years and you come back, they don't know your name at all. It's not a big deal. And why is this a problem? Because here's a corporate side, right? They want to make money. So yes, everybody needs to be replaceable, because they're just numbers on a sheet, right? They're a 7-digit code where they clock, we give them some money, but again, they have nothing to do with our profits. They are just, that's just a number, really, basically, right? Because we're corporate. We're out for our shareholders, and our shareholders are the numbers. These are the people that we care about, because they're going to be, they own us. Literally, they own us. So, again, the people that are working there, their numbers on a sheet. Is that a bad thing? I don't know. From a corporate side, you're going to say, yeah, no, it's a cost of doing business, right? And the more machines I could have doing it, fantastic. Then I don't even have to worry about a number. It's just a number on my cost sheet. Like I bought that machine, so job is complete. But human beings, this is not how they work. This is why so many people here that I see hate what they're doing. It's because where's their purpose? This is why when veterans come back and they get a job that is moving packages around or delivering this, or like, I feel like Uber gets more credit because at least you get to see people. It's like, oh, I got this guy from here to here, and that should be a success. Like, I should feel great because I made a great big. So why don't we actually have jobs where people feel good about what they're doing, where they feel like they're not replaceable? Because this is when you actually create people that are happy, and a society with happy people is going to make amazing things happen. But corporate America does not care about happy people, my friends. They don't. I'm so sorry, because they want profit. Happy people is
Money
not what
people.
they care about. Oh my God. If they cared about happy people, then maybe like you work 11 hours, they brought you lunch, or simple things like
saying thank you.
Thank you. That's what I was just going to say, that, Kathy. Thank you. Exactly. It's like people, it's just human. They need purpose. This is why people get pets. This is why people have kids. It's because, wait, if I go to work, that's going to give me my job is horrible. I just do A to B. I solder this onto here over and over and over a million times. And then there's other jobs. Like, I'm a teacher, and so many people say you go into teaching not because you want the money, because you want to help other people.
Validation, yeah.
No, but again, it's very simple. It's people want to have purpose. And you hear about veterans. What jobs do a lot of them actually fall into that are really good, like being a firefighter, right? Because veterans are used to putting their lives on the line for the good of something else. So again, it's a very simple thing. And human nature, in my opinion, we need something to work for. We need to make if you do the same job over and over and over and over again, and it's worthless to the betterment of anybody, if there's no purpose, if you're replaceable
outside of profit,
and you feel like literally the second you leave, it doesn't even matter. That's a sad thing for, I think, humans to really comprehend. And I
agree.
Hey, that's what
there were
I'm
a lot
saying.
of jobs. I said before, a lot of jobs that I worked really hard, and if I just had gotten a little bit of accolades or thank you, I would have done twice as much work for no more pay, just for feeling valued and feeling appreciated. But then when they didn't, it's like, bye, I'm on to my next job. See ya.
It's a capitalist lifestyle. It's like probably your whole lifetime, Dave.
Yeah.
Capitalism has overrun the entire body politic. Even politics revolves around capitalism.
Right.
Ronald Reagan was basically an actor hired by corporations to push the agenda that, hey, all these big companies will take care of you if you just send the money up to us, and we'll pay you more. And then they paid less and less and less and less and made more and more and more, and then made you feel guilty. It made you feel guilty for not showing up to get $6 an hour. And say you were lazy.
We'll get you someone else to take your job. You don't want your job?
And
you're not thankful?
Yeah.
Right. Profits mean more. Like there's so many companies right now, and let's just talk about Amazon, because Amazon is a giant company. And
even more so now.
And in 1940, they would have broken Amazon up probably 20 times already.
Easily.
For being a monopoly.
Wow.
But let's pretend like they're not a monopoly, and just watch their commercials. There's some commercials where they're talking about education in STEM, which I'm going to be certified in STEM very soon, and I'm going to school for. But they're talking about education and all the philanthropy that they do, right? For STEM and for education and this and that. And then there's another one where they're going to give you a $500 bonus to start working for them for $15 an hour. And how many places? Wait a second. If I work in the transportation department in Amazon, I don't have to go into work. I could still work from home. I have family leave. I make a median of $250,000 a year. Yet somehow the people that are at the low end are making $15 an hour, and you're going to give us $500 bonus for signing up. So again, this is creating this completely crazy thing of where these people are making almost nothing and these people are making a bunch, and yet they're still the median. They don't even own the company. Like, we're talking the people that are there's no reason why we have to value everybody, and corporations have created this thing where people in certain levels aren't worth anything, but all people are replaceable. And these are the two problems that we have. And until we actually value work more than we value money, America is not going to really move forward.
Well, look at all the chain restaurants. Look at all the big chain restaurants that didn't pay their baseline workers, people working mostly for tips. What's the minimum wage for a waitress?
$3, I think.
$2-3, right?
Yeah.
And they didn't give them hazard pay. They didn't give them pay when their places shut down. Then they told them they couldn't protest Black Lives Matter. Like they couldn't even express themselves. They had to wear certain uniforms. There's so many rules on people that don't make a lot of money. It's really but they couldn't do their job. They couldn't have their business without those people.
There you go.
They're like the tires on the car. The car will not go forward without the tires.
That's right. The most important people get paid the least.
Yeah.
You know,
it's
the guy
but again, they're replaceable because
someone else is going to come along and take that job.
That's right. And it's because
this is the problem that we've gotten into.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
Is that it doesn't matter if these companies, if they didn't have people waiting in line,
right, then they would have to change.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And how do you get hazard pay? I have never heard of a job getting hazard pay that hasn't had a union.
Right.
That's right.
Because you
Because
get together and you
right,
say, we're going to strike. That's it.
like literally right
Guess
now,
what? No
coronavirus.
tires on the car.
How many FedEx people? How many UPSers?
Yeah.
How many of those people actually get hazard pays? How many
The
nurses,
nursing home workers are striking right now for
right?
hazard
How many
pay.
of all the people that actually have to go to work? Even cops. I
The
don't think
grocery
they get.
store checkout lady, what is she
Yeah.
making?
Right, literally.
And she's like in danger every day, and she's got to go home to her wife, husband, and kids, or
And look at the people
wife.
that actually get paid hazard pay. Like that $15 an hour would be almost 4 times more if you were getting hazard pay. And hazard
That's
pay
right.
is very simple. Me going to work might kill me. Like that is hazard pay.
That's
It's
hazard
very
pay.
simple.
But as a company, I appreciate you keeping the company running, so I'm going to pay you more. That's how it's
For
supposed
taking
to.
that risk. Yeah.
Or we have
Because
to
we
pay
know we
you
couldn't
more.
do our job without you. But yeah, that's what it should be.
Yeah.
They should have to pay you more.
But the current policy is get your ass here for the same pay or you're fired.
Right.
Right, exactly.
And then what do? You're stuck.
Exactly. No, you
gotta go to
You're
work.
a slave. You're a slave.
Yeah. This is the real. Yeah.
It's
This is the
modern day
real.
slavery.
That's it. This is the real argument. Like
Simple.
we all argue about the government's not doing enough and they're forcing us to close. No, that's not the problem. The problem is the richest country in the world did not allow your business to keep running with the money that they gave to people who didn't need it. You remember when the PPE money or the PPP money first came out?
Yeah.
There was a guy assigned to say where every dollar went, and the Trump administration fired that guy. So the money
I
went
wonder
everywhere.
why.
And
Of course.
fraud, people buying
Right,
Lamborghinis
right.
while businesses were closing up. This was
it's okay. I guarantee the Republicans, and we don't have to get in politics, but soon they're going to be talking about debt. And that's because we have
That's
a
right.
Democratic president coming in, and all of a sudden it's going to be like, oh my God, we can't spend any money, even though, my friends, the debt ceiling they raised every single time
Every time.
without question. So
Mhm.
all I'm going to try to do is educate you on the history and the hypocrisy, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, if we had less old white men in politics, a lot better things would be happening.
I agree 100%.
Corporate America, if we had less white old men in corporate America, we would
That
have better
too.
things too. Right.
Hey, let the
Right.
women run the things. Let the women run everything.
Yes. But
It's very. We talk about like progressive and conservative. Like think about that for a minute. Just think about the etymology of those words.
they're just
Progressivism,
divisive. Right.
I mean, you want
right.
to progress. You want to move forward. Conserve. You want to conserve. Keep things the way they are. You fuckers stay poor and we'll stay rich. That's conservatism.
Mhm.
Progressives want things to get better. Want to see that world
For
that Dave was
everybody.
talking about. Yes.
Mhm.
But if that happens, somebody has to take a little bit less money. And that is out of the question. That's the
And they
problem that we
already
right
have
now.
enough money, so it's just
Plenty,
greed at that point.
plenty. Man,
Well,
there was a, what, a
and
yacht
that's what we're
tax?
talking about. Corporate greed, right?
Yep.
Our
Yep.
shareholders deserve more. And here's the problem is that that's not what we should be striving for, because
right.
if you have a happy workforce and even if you're profitable, like what is that Medline here in the Chicago area? They are
Mhm.
still family owned and they have almost zero debt and
Right.
they're multi-million-dollar and I talk about Henry Ford, like businesses nowadays, if they're owned by shareholders in the sense that our mission is to create profit, then they're missing the point of being around. Just like if you're a human being, like you want to have purpose. So, hey, Supreme Court, if businesses and corporations are human beings, right? Because we've already said that they are. Then they should care about human beings.
Mhm.
And if they don't care about human beings, then I'm sorry, they don't get the protection under the law
Mm.
It's
as they
unfortunate.
are.
If we could mandate care, this would be a different country.
Conscience. Give them a conscience.
If we could mandate conscience, this would be a
Yeah.
different country.
It really would. There's so many people without it.
Well, and we could
Wow.
start with a minimum wage that's like, people are going to say it's ridiculous, but I think $20 an hour as a minimum wage will have amazing impacts, because all of a sudden, every single job is going to be worth $20 minimum.
Mhm.
So then people are going to have more choices. And
It
if
is
people
ridiculous
have more
because-
choices, then you're going to find out that businesses are competing more for them. But right now, if everything pays like shit,
Mhm.
and the only
Exactly.
jobs people could get pay like shit, then of course it's like, oh, you're gonna
Advantage
give
corporate
$500
America.
over. You're gonna give me $16. Oh, you're gonna when the
Yep.
Christmas is over, fuck you. Like,
Right.
hey, that's
Advantage
a
corporate
problem.
America. Yeah.
Exactly.
Or
exactly.
let's limit you to 29 hours because at 30 I got to pay benefits.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
And I'll get
Or
two
let's
people to
just
work
hire
30 hours instead of one person
all
to work
part-time
40.
people. Right. Nobody
Yeah.
gets
Mhm.
40 hours just because that
Mm-mm.
makes more business sense.
But
Yeah.
who's ultimately responsible for that? It's not necessarily the corporations, it's
Congress.
the politicians.
It is. It is. Well,
That
well,
don't
they,
put laws into effect that actually help more people. They just
they're
pander
bribing
to the
them.
lobbyists or the corporations, and they all have their own agendas.
Well,
They're
money
bribing
is
them.
speech. And again,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
another
Supreme Court.
political thing that
Mhm.
that we've had judges decide.
Yeah.
And
What was
I'm
it? Citizens
sorry.
United? Was that the decision? I think Citizens United was the one
Mm-hmm.
where a corporation could give $20
Money
million.
is speech. Money is
Yeah,
speech.
money is speech. Yeah.
So again, like
Or open secrets.
here's the problem too, and I'm just gonna talk about this really quick.
Yeah.
But the law should not be so subjective that you could come out with any answer you want.
Exactly.
That is not.
How about some clarity so it's not open
right.
to interpretation?
It should not be an art into figuring out which way I could say this so that I could have the opinion I want. This is
Even
why,
when I go to my tax guy every year, like, I depend on him to translate the tax laws, but you go to 3 different guys, you get 3 different answers. It should not be that way.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
It's
Because
made
then I
to be
can take
confusing.
advantage of the system, and that's
Exactly.
not
It's
how
made
it
to be
should be.
confusing. Yeah.
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
and our
Hey,
system is designed for rich people to get off. Like,
Mhm.
Yep.
right? How many?
Who was
you
the
could pay
famous
the lawyer,
person
you're
who
off.
somebody quoted a famous person? They said that if it's too hard to explain, there's something wrong with it. It should be able to be explained to a 5-year-old. That's how every policy should be.
Yeah.
If it's that convoluted, beware.
Well,
there's something wrong there.
Yeah. It's on purpose. I mean,
Yeah.
the problem is that we've put in place lawmakers who are there to protect us from people who are bribing them.
Yeah.
You go to opensecrets.com. It's a website that has every politician and where they've taken contributions from. You'd be surprised the people on that list.
Ah.
There's a guy that Joe Biden just appointed as energy secretary. He's a guy from Louisiana, Democrat, black guy. Wow, they got a black energy secretary.
Black
This guy is taking
Democrat. Mhm.
this guy's taken $500,000 from energy companies. He's the second highest receiver of contributions from energy companies.
Come on, Joe. Don't let that
You see what
happen.
I'm saying? But it's
Mhm.
loaded.
Yeah, you
Where are
can't
you gonna
pay
find
your
somebody?
workers any money, yet you're going to give multi-million dollars. So again,
Exactly.
we could go in circles.
Wow.
And again, these are great things that we have Republican people trying to bring out. Oh, look at this, look at that. And again, our system is so convoluted where yes, Republicans and Democrats, I'm sorry to say it, they're crooks on both ends of the spectrum because to be a
That's right.
politician is to be a crook. And this is why when we get these like
That's just
random,
too bad.
amazing people that are just like
Yep.
moms
Elizabeth Warren,
and
Bernie Sanders.
hardcore workers
Veterans.
that
Elizabeth
care about
Warren.
people. It's like,
Yep.
oh my god. And then what does everyone else in the business say? Oh my god, they're so
They're
progressive.
crazy,
They're
yeah.
trying to exactly. But
Right.
who are they talking to and who are they brainwashing?
That's right.
And they're
Wow.
talking to investors and they're brainwashing. I don't want to say stupid Americans, but there's so many
Naive.
there's so
Naive.
many
Naive.
people that are stuck on silly things that actually don't matter.
Yeah.
Because the conversation is so convoluted. I
Right.
consider myself a smart person, and I really never paid a lot of attention to politics until these last couple of years because of all the craziness that was going on. It forced me to pay attention, and I still feel like I'm not informed enough. And I take the time to read things, and I take the time to look at stuff. It shouldn't be that complicated, but people don't have the patience for it. They got to live their lives. They got to go to their shitty $15 an hour job and get their kids on daycare and do what they need to do to pay their rent. So they don't have time to spend
Right.
to pay attention to any of this stuff.
And that's what they
Well,
want. They
and
put
it's-
somebody up there
That's
that
on
smiles into the
purpose.
screen and
It's-
says, "Don't worry, I'll take care of you." And
Yeah.
you're not being taken care
Well,
of.
yeah, it's easier to root for a team than it is to
Yeah.
for anything else. And oh man, we got crazy. But hey,
You know what? I
Right.
will say
for
what
our
the
20
finally
minute show, my gosh.
the final thing I'll say about this is I think I have a lot of hope for young people today.
Yeah.
Especially because of the last couple of years. They've become involved at a young age, where they have the patience to challenge and the spirit to challenge what's the status quo. And having a 17-year-old and a 19-year-old talking politics, I'm so exhausted sometimes because I can't keep up with what they're talking about. And they're very versed in a lot of this stuff. It's really heartening to see this. And when they get together with their friends, and I'm overhearing from the other room, they're talking about this kind of stuff. So, you know, all the people that march this.
Hey, secondhand soul fans.
I just have a lot of hope for the young people today, that they're really engaged, and it's become part of their fabric of life. Like, it's not a big deal. When we were growing up, all we cared about was, you know, going to a concert, hanging out at the park with our friends. And today's young people are not like that. Yeah, exactly. Although I did hear that they said, you know, in 20 years, the people that were homeschooled by day drinkers are the ones that are going to be running the country. So it might be terrible. I don't know.
Probably still be better than this. We ain't doing too good right now.
Well, thank you everybody for tuning in to our 25th show. Please tune in next week for
Motown.
Well, we'll be back next week with more fun. Go ahead.
And Motown, funk, and
soul.